2, 1, go. All right.
Good afternoon, sports fans. Welcome to Bench. My name is James Davenport.
Chad Davenport.
And what's our topic for today?
Well, why don't you first tell them what the purpose of our podcast is?
My bad. I'll slow down. So we will be talking about basketball, and any other sports we might need to get in depth in, and anything that might be on the becoming a little more talked
Topical.
about
Right.
on the media, but it's mostly going to be basketball.
It's a basketball podcast between me and James. We both love basketball. James loves basketball. So we decided, you know what? Let's have a thing where we're going to talk about basketball. So this is our first episode. Okay? Fix my hair there. Okay? First topic, NBA Finals. So as we speak right now, James, Boston is up 2-0 over the Mavericks. Thoughts?
I think that if Boston wins the next game, it's like a multiple choice question, it's a multiple choice answer.
Mm-hmm.
So, if Boston wins this next game, it is the most likely situation that will be is that Boston will win. It's impossible for Boston to win not 1 out of 4 games.
Right.
So if they win the next game, it's basically just sealed the whole entire series and they win the championship.
So as you're talking this right now, it says, to date, there has never been a successful comeback from a 3-0 series deficit in the NBA.
You never know. They can make history.
That's true. You could make history.
Dallas has a good...
But if Boston wins tonight, we're pretty much saying it's over, right?
Yes.
It's over. Well, let's flip it. Let's say when they go back to Boston, let's say that it's 2-2, Boston and Dallas. What do you think about that?
I think it's just going to be anybody's game, and whoever wins the next game basically just seals the whole thing.
Okay.
So it's just going to be a very high-stakes game.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. But they're just going to have to act like it's just going to be a normal game. It's not like they're going to think about what happens in the next games. They're not going to think about what happens in the future for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they're thinking for glory and the championship.
Okay.
That's all they're thinking about.
So let's say that if Boston wins one of these next 2 games in Dallas, does Dallas have a chance at all?
At Dallas?
If Boston wins one of the next 2 games in Dallas, and they don't win both, obviously, but let's say they win a 3rd game, does Dallas have any chance?
What does that mean?
That means it'd be 3-1 going back
out
to
of
Boston.
the 2 games, will Dallas win one?
Dallas will win 1, Boston
I
wins 1.
still don't think that's going to change anything, especially when it's already 3-1, and they're just going to have another.
Let me see if anybody, you keep talking, let me see if anybody's ever come back down from 3-1. Oh, we do know. The Cavaliers came back from down 3-1.
The Cavs.
So it has happened. So let's see.
But that's when they had LeBron.
That's true.
But of course, Dallas also has their LeBron of some sort, which is...
Who is what?
I would say Luka, but I also would say Kyrie, because he's the older...
13 times it's happened.
That's still not a lot.
13 times. Still not a lot. Okay? Still not a lot. The Celtics won 2 games on the road during the comeback and also won the NBA Finals. So, but nobody's ever come back from down 3-0, but they have come back down from 3-1. So it gives us a chance. Gives you a chance. Okay, let's talk about, the media has been talking about the impact of Drew Holiday. Okay? And specifically, they've been talking about how Drew Holiday is not really a star, but he's a great role player. How important is the role player in trying to win an NBA title?
Okay, so obviously, I'm pretty sure he can score, but he's also a defensive beast.
A defensive player. Matter of fact, the reason they're bringing that up is because he's pretty much shut down Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, he's pretty much just stopped Kyrie Irving in whole from scoring any more points. He's probably one of these table turners for Boston, because if they didn't have Drew Holiday, this might be a completely different series. And Drew's definitely changed the whole entire playoffs for Boston.
Right.
He's made it so the other team can't really score at all.
Uh-huh.
He's made their offense a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely has a lot of experience with younger but better players.
Mm-hmm.
when he was with Milwaukee and he was with Giannis.
Yeah.
I think he's done a great job with Drew Holiday. I don't expect anything to change for the rest of like next season or the rest of his entire career.
So they made two big all-season pickups. They got Drew Holiday and got Kristaps Porzingis. Do you think that was enough to put Boston over the top?
Yes.
They had the best record in the NBA this year.
Actually, no. They
Wait,
did have the
They did have the best record in the NBA.
No, they did have the best record, but I don't think that Kristaps and Drew Holiday changed everything.
You don't think it changed everything?
I think that it didn't change everything completely for them. I think it just more helped them. It gave them a boost. It didn't really like change them completely. Because Kristaps, of course, is one of the best defensive players ever made in the league, and then Drew Holiday is another great defensive player.
What's his nickname? What's Kristaps' nickname? Do you know?
Big Boston.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one, Big Boston. He's the unicorn.
That's Chet Holmgren.
Well, I thought. Are you sure?
That's Chet Holmgren.
Are you sure?
Come on.
Let me see. You say Chet Holmgren. Let's see.
It's
NBA unicorn. Kristaps Porzingis. I told you that's what they called him. Was the unicorn. That was his nickname.
Well, I think they also call Chet Holmgren.
They probably do because they're both unique. They're very unique. They're tall. They're not really like true centers. When Kristaps got drafted by New York way back in the day, now he was supposed to be like the dude. He was like, this guy's going to change the league, and he's well, true. But let's look at his stats. Let's look at his stats, okay?
People thought he was going to be the best New York Knicks player of all time.
They did. They thought that he was going to be. So he hasn't played. He scored 20 points in the first game versus the Mavericks, then 12 points. So his career stats, he's played for the Knicks. He's been in the league almost 10 years. That's crazy.
That's insane.
So a lot of his problems have been injured. He played 72 games for the Knicks the first year, but then since then, the most games he's played was 66 the next year, and then he played 65 games last year. Okay. Other than that, he's never played more than 57 games. So he hasn't played full season, which has hurt him. Points, his career average is probably like 22 points a game. His best year was with the Knicks. His third year with the Knicks, he went 22.7 points, 6.6 rebounds. Then he played with the Mavericks. Most people with the Mavericks. He was pretty good with the Mavericks. Now, they just weren't very good. But they tried to put him with Luka. But he scored 23 points. Wait a minute. He scored 20 points a game and 9 rebounds a game with the Mavericks.
That's really good.
He's actually had a good career.
Awesome.
He averaged 20 points a game this year for the Celtics. So it was big.
How many blocks and rebounds?
Let's see. This year, he is averaging 20 points and 7 rebounds. They don't say how many blocks, but the other night when he played, I mean, he was dominant.
He did.
He was dominant with blocking. Yeah, he was tough. It's tough to get around him and do those kinds of things. So, okay, let's talk about Luka. So in Dallas, let's talk about Luka and Dallas and what are Dallas's chances here tonight. Specifically tonight. They're back in Dallas, home court. Dallas is going to be going crazy. Thoughts?
So Dallas's hopes are all on themselves, or it's all on Boston?
Who has to play good tonight for Dallas? Other than Luka? Kyrie. What's Kyrie? Has Kyrie done anything?
Honestly, no, because Drew Holiday's been locking him down.
Drew Holiday's locking him down. We talked about Drew Holiday being an important guy, and Drew's locked him down.
Yes, and then now back to the topic of Luka. They're just gonna have to play. They definitely are playing him in the right position. I think that they just need to play him smartly.
Okay, what do you mean by playing smartly?
Because if you can get him to... Luka plays when he's on a roll. He plays better when he's able to make a shot and then make another one and then make another one. He plays better when he's on a hot streak.
Yeah.
If you can find a way to open him up by using the players to help him get open, and then just do that every single time, he's just going to be able to shoot threes and just get under the bucket and make layups. Just like it's nothing. Because
if Kyrie and Luka are both playing their A game, can the Celtics beat them?
That's all on if Jason Tatum or Kristaps or Drew Holiday or Jaylen Brown can all play.
Yeah, but we're talking about Luka and Kyrie. Some people called them the best offensive duo ever. Stu.
Okay, but that's a lie. The internet's crazy.
Well, it wasn't the internet. It was to Stu Van Gundy, who was doing the announcement of the game. He said that they were the best offensive tandem ever.
It's Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe.
Boy, that's pretty good. I wasn't thinking about those two as being the two.
I forgot we were going to do those.
Pretty good. I got it.
So right now, you want to just rank our top 5?
Well, let's talk about it. So here's what I did instead. I went to Chat GPT. Okay?
Okay.
And I asked Chat GPT, I want to see how close you can come. Okay? So this is top 5, and one of them doesn't count because they got one of them wrong. But it's interesting. So let's see. They say top 5 current duos in the NBA. Go.
Okay. Does it have to be current?
I said current, even though they messed up. Chat GPT messed up, and they listed one that was too old. I think they are doing it as of Well, let's do in the NBA right now. Go.
Okay.
Give me your top 5. Let's see how close you are
right now.
Chat GPT.
Okay, I'm gonna say 5 is LeBron and Anthony.
They have them 4th.
They have them 4th? Okay, I got close.
You're close. You're right
So, honestly, in my opinion, I feel like they don't really work together as well as they did.
Okay.
In 2020, they definitely did a lot better.
Yeah, they won the championship in
But
the
also,
bubble.
they had a ton of motivation.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the fact that Anthony Davis is more on his own now, and he can handle himself by himself, and LeBron can just use like D'Lo or what's his name?
Austin Reeves.
He can just use
and
them.
Rui Hachimura.
Yes.
Okay.
But I think Anthony Davis can just help. Like he can still be combined with LeBron, because people don't really know that LeBron has a very special passing ability, and he can just lob it up to Anthony Davis and they can just get free points.
Right.
But they aren't working together as well because LeBron is getting a lot older. Same thing with Anthony Davis. They don't have the best coordination, and they aren't really, as coordinated as they used to be. And Anthony Davis can just really play by himself.
Okay.
And be the lone wolf.
All right.
As a center.
You got Anthony Davis and LeBron. All right, give me another one.
Donovan Mitchell / Darius Garland, and I'm gonna more say Darius Garland and Jared Allen.
All right, they do not have them in top 5.
They
don't? No, they don't. They don't have them in top 5. So why do you think why do you think you're in top 5?
Okay, Darius Garland is. I feel like the best duos are point guard and center.
Okay.
Because excuse me.
Bless you.
Because it works out better. The center is always the big guy and can really just push around all the other players. And the point guard can just make great passes to them, or they can just help them get open. Or the centers can help the point guards get open, and then they can just make shots. Darius Garland and Jared Allen are the perfect example of that. Jared Allen is great. Well, he's not great, but he's definitely a good center. Darius Garland is also an up-and-coming point guard that's definitely has a bright future ahead of him.
Okay.
I think that they definitely have a little more time to work with each other, just because Darius hasn't really gotten to that point where they play together so much that they just know what to do together. But I think if you just give them a little more time, they will have a chance to be one of the greatest duos.
Okay. So in this list that I just pulled up, they have Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, number 11 in their top 12.
Number 11?
Number 11.
I know they're not the best players.
So they got
like,
Anthony Davis and LeBron. Anthony Davis and LeBron are at number 5.
5, okay.
So you got to give me 3 more. 3 of yours. Let's see where they rank based on this. All right, who's number 3 in your book?
Chet and Shea.
Not on the list.
That's insane.
Chet, you're saying Chet Holmgren and who?
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. So I agree with you.
I think they were more going on
I
the
think
side
they
with,
should be on the list. They're not on the list.
I think
they
they're more going with the side where it's Josh Giddey and Chet and like them two. But
I think they're saying SKG, but I don't. Or excuse me, SGA. I don't know why I keep saying SKG. SGA. I think they're on the SGA side. I don't think they're on the Chet side.
No.
I don't think they're ready for Chet yet.
It's kind of like the same thing with LeBron and Anthony, but they're just a lot younger. And they can coordinate a lot better if they really want to.
Okay.
They don't really be a duo that much, but it's more that they're just great teammates. They work together with the rest of their teammates on the team like the same as they do with each other. But I think since they're the best two players on that team, they can really just get each other open. Because that's really what makes a great duo. Getting each other open and helping each other score points instead of, like scoring points and just letting your teammate or your duo scoring the next one.
All right, you give me 3. Give me 2 more.
Okay. Number 2, Luka and Kyrie. Okay, hear me out.
You went Luka and Kyrie number 2?
Hear me out, okay? Luka and Kyrie, they are...
What's your number 1?
I will tell you. They are the greatest duo in the league right now.
Then you got them ranked 2, though. We're doing it in the league right now, and you ranked them 2. You just contradicted yourself.
They're one of the greatest, okay? They're one of the greatest of all time as well, but they work together amazingly. They always try their best to work together. They both score points like insane. They're the best 2 players on that team. They both help each other out, score points. They always pass to each other. They know how to work with each other. Now, think about this. They've only been together for like 3 or 2 years. And the reason, and that's exactly
2 years, a year and a half,
and that's exactly the reason why I have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum at number 1.
I think that's a tough argument. You can't go wrong with those.
It's my
2.
personal opinion.
Well, of course, and I think it's a good opinion. All right, let me give you their list. So this is from Complex Sports, which who knows? Everybody has a list. Who knows? 12, De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Number 11, Garland and Mitchell.
Okay.
Number 10, the Chef and Klay Thompson. Chef Curry and Klay Thompson.
Should have been at 12.
At 10.
They're not good anymore.
Number 9, Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson. John did play this year, so it's kind of stuff. 8, Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo.
They should have. Oh, I didn't think about that. They should have been a lot higher.
7, Kyrie and Luka.
What?
Yep, what? Number 6, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George.
They're not exactly a duo.
Number 5, Anthony and LeBron. Number 4, Tatum and Brown.
What's number 1?
You're going to see. Number 3, Durant and Booker.
No.
Yep. Durant
No.
You know we need to go down and play 2K at some point, right?
We probably should.
Yeah. Number 2, Giannis Antetokounmpo and Dame Leonard. Lillard, not Lillard. And number 1, you guys probably sitting out there right now going, you doofuses, number 1's obvious.
What?
Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray.
I did not think about that.
Yep.
It's my personal opinion.
It's definitely your personal opinion.
I forgot about every single team out there.
ChatGPT had Nicole and Jamal number 1. They had Durant and Booker number 2. They had Tatum and Brown 3, James and Davis 4, and Antetokounmpo and Lillard 5. They didn't have Luka and Kyrie in the top 5 either.
Jeez.
Yeah, kind of crazy.
So number 1 would be Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum for me.
All right. Well,
I think if I had
it's your opinion.
I think if I had a lot more space and it was like top 12, I would have put in all of those teams.
All right.
And all of those players.
Next topic. Topic number 3. So obviously the big topic right now. Nobody before. I have lived a long time. I've been a basketball fan my whole life. I've never heard him talk about women's basketball. Now we're talking about women's basketball and Caitlin Clark.
Never thought I would talk about women's
I
basketball
never
ever.
thought we would talk about it. Definitely not on our first ever benched podcast did I think that we would talk
I
about
wouldn't either.
women's basketball. But here we are, Caitlin Clark, and the controversy with her on the Olympics and what she done in the league. Let's say this first of all. There's no doubt she's popular. We're not going to get into all the reasons and all that. She's very popular for whatever reason. She's a great player, but she's on a bad team. So pretty much teams can just focus on
Every single
her.
player starts out though.
Right. They can focus on her, and she ain't got nobody that's helping her. But
Let's
she
do
still has
stuff.
nights. She still has nights where she's scoring 20 and 30 points. So she thinks she's one of the best players. So, do you think? Here's your question for you, James. Do you think when the Olympics picked the 12 players, should they have picked the 12 best players, or do they pick a team that's trying to get people to watch them in the Olympics? What do you think?
Well, the 12 plus players are the 12 most watched players.
I don't know if that's
obvious.
true. I don't know if that's true.
You got a point. You got a point.
I don't think the 12 best players 12 must watch. The problem is people are talking about, well, these women are upset because nobody's watching. But you know what? You got to do something about that. You have to do something to get people to watch you.
I think I'm going to say the 12 best players. Because you want your team to win, of course. And I think because no matter what, there's going to be a lot of people watching the Olympics.
Yeah, but there'd be more people.
But each team is going to be scoring a lot of points against each other. That's going to make it really heated against other
But the
teams.
women have not lost a game since 1992. Do you really think it would matter if she's on the team or not? She's not like she's some scrub. She's a good player.
No.
You're trying to grow the game.
So you're saying that Caitlin Clark should be on the Olympic team?
So you know what? It's like Mike Greenberg said the other day on his show, and I kind of agree with him. I think you can argue both sides and you can be legit on both sides. I think you have a special moment here where you can really get people to be interested in the girls' basketball and to stay interested in women's basketball. College women's basketball is much more popular than the WNBA because it's more of a college thing, and a lot of the teams that are good are like from small towns, and they get behind the team. Like Iowa, the fans in Iowa got behind the team, but they go watch Iowa play basketball all the time anyway. It's just they happen to have the best player in the world or the best player in college for the last 3 years. I don't know. It's such a good topic. It's hard for me because I'm not a huge girls basketball fan anyway.
I'm gonna say one thing about. I'm gonna say 2 words.
All right.
For Caitlin Clark being on the Olympic team. I've never meant something as hard as I have in my entire life. I've never meant something more in my entire life.
All right.
Heck no. There is no reason,
way? You're saying heck no. She's no way she should be on the Olympic team.
No reason she should be on the Olympic team.
Why?
She just got out of college.
Yeah, but if she's but more people watch her than anybody else.
She needs a lot more time. Of course she's already ready for the professional level,
But she's not, it's not like she's a bad player.
She's not a bad player at all. I just don't think she's ready for the Olympic. She's not ready for the Olympic picture.
All right.
She's not ready for that.
All right, that's
of
your
course,
opinion.
That's my
That's
opinion.
your opinion.
But
You're
I
strong.
just
It's a
don't
strong
think she's ready.
opinion.
I don't think she's ready.
Strong opinion. Strong opinion.
She's not ready. The Olympics is the highest, rank of sports in the entire world. And
Yeah,
she's
but
not
most
ready for
people. So here's, excuse me, tired. So here's the counter to that. Most people who follow basketball know that the games are not even going to be close, and they're not even going to watch because the women are going to beat people by 50. Don't you want to grab a reason for people to watch them?
that. You got a point. I didn't really.
I think you can argue it both ways.
You can, but
All
it's
right.
just my opinion.
Fourth topic and last topic of the day. We're coming to you today on the day that the logo passed away, Jerry West. Okay, so I've got his career stats pulled up here. Okay, the logo. So we heard this morning on the radio that he's the only player ever to be the most outstanding player in the Final Four and the most outstanding player in the finals and didn't win either one. that would never happen today. They're not going to pick somebody to be the most outstanding player if they win. So he'll be that forever and always. Thoughts on the logo? James, go.
I think that if you call him a legend, you're wrong. If you call him a incredible player, you're wrong. If you call him the greatest player of all time, you're wrong. He is the NBA. He is practically the whole entire league. He practically built up the league to what it is today. Of course, he's the logo.
He's the logo.
He's the legit logo of the
Logo.
NBA. This is one of the greatest sports leagues of all time.
Yeah.
And he's the logo of it. And he's barely talked about. He is not a legend. He's not a great player. He's not an incredible player.
So these are his averages with no three-point shot. They didn't have the three-pointer when Jerry West
He
played.
is the league. He's
So-
just the NBA.
No three-point shot. This was his averages. You ready? First year 17. Then he went 31, 27, 28, 31, 31, 29, 26, 26, 31, 27, 26. That was his averages, points, with no three-point shot.
With no three-point.
No three-point shot. Here's the other thing he
He
did.
is the league.
He
he's
played. He played all the time. It's not like today where people.
Didn't he play a season where he just played every game?
Yeah, it's not like it was where people played back, today where they game manage and do stuff. Not anymore. It's not like that. He played all the time. He played every game. He had 1 year with he played 51 games, but other than that, he was 69, 77, 69, 74, 66, 79, 74, 72, 75, 79. I think they lost to the Russell Lakers like almost a ton of these years too in the playoffs. So but first episode of the Benched podcast, we got to give our props to the logo. When you're the logo, Michael Jordan's the greatest player of all time. We'll probably have an episode where we'll talk about
that.
Talk about Jordan
Who
being the
can be the
greatest.
next
I
Michael
grew
Jordan?
up in the middle of Jordan. We'll talk about Anthony Edwards, kind of the comparison there. I think the comparison's fairly legit because of following Jordan. But we'll talk about that because that's more of my wheelhouse.
He's also really underrated.
Correct.
Because when you think...
Who are we talking about underrated?
Jerry West. Because here's the thing.
He
when you
probably
wanna watch
is
tape, when you want to watch like some kind of tape and you're like on a high school team or a college team and you want to watch tape, like what you usually would on a team, you usually watch like Kareem, Jordan, Dr. J, LeBron when he was starting his career, Kobe.
Yeah.
You don't really talk about Jerry West.
You don't. A lot of people don't. And you got to be a historian. His last year in the NBA was 1974. Most of the people who are watching today were born after 1974. I was only 3. So it's hard to remember. But when you're the logo,
you're the NBA, baby.
When your nickname is logo, you're pretty good.
You're basically the NBA. You're the greatest. You're practically the greatest player of all time. Of course, he isn't the greatest, just basketball-wise and skill-wise, but outside of the skill, he's the greatest player.
All right. Hey, this was our first episode of Benched. How'd you think it went?
It went pretty good.
Went pretty good?
Yeah.
So we got some things to work on. Hopefully you'll send us some feedback. We'll try to come to you a couple times a week. We're going to talk basketball. That's our main thing, but we'll talk other stuff as well. We'll talk other sports. And so here we are, signing off.